watching us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, karibuni sana. Welcome to the show. So guys, we have had a lot of things that have happened. Allow me just to start really quick on a sad note, just to make an acknowledgement. About 2 weeks ago, we had an incident that was not good. We lost one of our fellow country person, a lady who was killed by the husband and the kids. What we call a murder suicide is just a neighbor state to me, about 2 states over, Kentucky. This brings to the forefront the issue of mental health and domestic violence, or what we call spousal abuse. These are challenges that we face every day. But I just wanted to extend that condolence to that family, and especially when I was reading the news that majority of the family was hearing this news via Facebook. It's very painful when you hear the demise of your family member through social media without getting, and you never know where you are. You might be in a car, you might be driving, and then you're scrolling, and then you see the name or the picture of your person. That was a very sad moment for me, and I know we'll talk about this. And also at the same time, we had some exciting news and something that made us proud as Kenyans. And Doro, let me throw that to you. Can you give our acknowledgement to the CNN Hero of the Year?
Hello, everybody. This is Doro, for those who don't know me. I know we've started on a low note about the lady that passed away. But again, it's God made this earth in a very strange way. Every single day we have a high note and we have a low. So every single day there's good news and there's bad news. So the good news for us Kenyans right now, something we all need to celebrate more than I'm actually seeing it being celebrated so far on social media, is that the CNN Hero of 2022, CNN Hero of the Year, is Kenyan. Her name is Nelly Cheboy, very young girl, 29 years old, has accomplished a lot. I mean, put our name in a positive way on the map. And I watched it, and it brought a lot of tears of joy, because she called her mom on stage.
Yes.
And sang the song. She brought up the stories of how she used to watch the mom work so hard.
Yes.
This girl comes from a single parent family. Mom had 4 daughters, very, very not educated. She went all the way. She just went to class 6. But this is a mom who was very, very determined to educate the daughters. As much as people used to tell her that, oh no, if you have daughters, you don't have to even buy land. They'll get married, they'll leave you. But she worked so hard to educate the daughters. And on the song that they presented on stage for the whole world to hear,
yes,
was a song that it's a promise from a small child telling the mom that one day I'll grow up and my hands will be big enough to help you. So she's in a position where she has helped the mother. And this is a story that should really uplift a lot of mothers, widows, mothers who just had single mothers, and even mothers who are married just in the name of being married, but the husband is technically not available. This should uplift you and know that with God is your husband, Jesus is your husband, whatever they say that. And that's the person who's going to help you, help your children. And the more commitment you put on your kids, and this one I'm saying it now on a personal level. I have sons, I don't have daughters, I have sons, but I have put my 100% commitment to these kids. The commitment you put to your kids, those kids will turn around one day and make sure you don't suffer. I totally believe in that. And thank you, Nelly Cheboy. We are so proud of you as Kenyans. And we want to see, or we wish you many more achievements ahead. And I also want to see a bunch of other Nelly Cheboys out there. Come out. The sky is the limit. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Doro. To me, I found myself actually singing along with her when she started singing that song,
Yes.
and it
Mm-hmm.
brought back memories. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
it was just a rush of memories. I'm like, this is, I felt like I needed to be there with her. That was a beautiful
Yeah.
moment. That was a wonderful moment. And more so, it made me a proud Kenyan. I'm always a proud
Yes.
Kenyan, but that was a proud moment that I'm like, you know what? We can actually do this. We have the potential, and more so, we have people who have talent and potential. Only need to find an avenue for them to explore their potential and actually blossom and go out there and do wonders. So that was really a great moment for us. And once again, like you said, I would say congratulations to Nelly. You've made Kenya proud, and we hope that, like Doro, you have said, we hope we'll see many more Nellies coming up and do great things in this world and make Kenya even much brighter diamond to shine for the rest of the world. Thank you so much for those sentiments. Bwana Ilem, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. How about you?
I am doing great, man. Welcome, welcome. It's been a while. Uh,
Thank you.
naona Canada baridi imeanza kidogo, lakini ni sawa.
Iko.
Yeah. So let me give you a moment just to
Kama tuko kwa plantation.
plantation in a bid. Let me give you a moment to give your comments of the happenings that you have seen so far, based on what we have seen. And more so, I want us to talk about mental health issues, what we call domestic violence or spousal abuse, how, and also encompass that with our cultural aspect, where we come from. How do we get to a point where these things actually work for better for us, not against us?
Thank you, Banarama. I think I will as well join my sister Doro in congratulating Nelly Cheboy for the very emotional story and progress and success that she has given our country and put our country on the map of the the world. I think her story is one of those many stories that needs to be told and retold and retold. I believe there are very many other people there out there who have not gotten the chance, but I believe the chance that Nelly got, there are many lessons to learn from her, that she did not take the glory herself, but she reflected her success, with their parents. Many of us, when we become successful, we forget the efforts that our parents put to mold us to be who we are. And I'm so proud of Nelly, and I'm so proud in the manner that she said the story and how they chimed together with the mother. That was so emotional and charismatic. So, in terms of the question that you posed, I think that is one of the challenges that we have. Especially when you come from a country or a continent like that of Africa, we don't know, we're not well conversant of issues of depression and mental health and so on. You get to know more when you're outside Kenya. The mental issues, uh, if we can relate it from where we come from, it's those people that we see in the street who collect, garbage and who eat garbage and so forth, who are, speaking to themselves and so on. Those are the people that we usually would relate with depression and mental health. However, at any point, anyone and every one of us has gone through depression. So it's a very common thing. Now, this is very rampant, especially here in North America and Europe and very many other countries outside Kenya because of the stress, high level of stress. In Kenya, you can manage it because you have so many people you can talk to. You have so many places you can go to because this is where you were born and you know all the panya routes where you can go to. Unfortunately, here, it's like you are on a programmed kind of life. You know, it's Monday through Friday. Maybe you have to go to work, and maybe Saturday, maybe go to church. Maybe Sunday you go for grocery and laundry, and you go back to the cycle. So, which means human interaction is very limited. I think let me stop there for now. But yes, depression is a thing. Mental health is something that we have to talk about. And I can add drug and substance abuse as well into that list. Thank you.
Wow. Yeah. I believe we actually do have quite of a challenges, especially there is a phrase that people use: we are always half here and half home. We are never fully in one place. And that becomes a complication. But at the same time, it should not be a curse for us. It actually should be a blessing that we can use what we have learned at home, our cultural aspect, our cultural background, but make it work for us here. And that's the biggest question to me is how do we actually get this working? Doro, I have this question that I want to phrase to you, and not just specifically for women only, but also both men and women. When you actually decide, or what, because sometimes people stay uh, in marriage just because they want to protect their name or they want to protect the image they have given out there while they are actually going through hell. But at what step do people say, hey, it's okay, just walk away? How do we get to that point when somebody knows things are not really working out? I'm living in hell. I'm being beaten every day, like they say, kama burukenge, but I can't say anything to people out there because people see, oh, this growless person, I need to protect that image. When did you move from that and say, hey, you know what, I'm out? I can't do this anymore. And how do we make it okay for actually people to feel comfortable and just walk away when things are not working?
First of all, I want to give a disclaimer before I address this topic. The disclaimer here is I, Doro, who is speaking to you, I was married for 22 years. So I know what it is to be in a marriage. And I know what it is to be a single mother. So before anybody comes here and starts commenting, because I might say something that might not sit well with them, and say, oh, what does she know about marriage? Or what does she know about being single? Hey, I'm one of those lucky people who has tested both sides. So let me address this. A marriage is supposed to be a happy union. It's supposed to be something that brings two people with a common interests together to work together to be a stronger unit. A marriage is supposed to it's for procreation to bring forth a family.
Yeah.
People get married not because they hated each other. They get married because they love each other. So once it gets to a point where you feel that the love has gone away, this person that you married has become, excuse me, I'm at work, so it's a little background noise.
Okay, that's okay.
So this person has become an animal who just wants to beat you up, doesn't see your value in the relationship. Immediately you should walk away. Because when you give in this day and age, I know some of you might disagree and say that in our grandfather's days or our parents' days, it was okay for a man to whip a woman. No, it is not okay. It's never been okay. And first of all, I teach my sons this, that any man who raises their hand on a woman is a coward. Is a coward. And that man also is mentally not stable. Because why would you raise your fist as a man to hit the weaker sex?
Okay.
So that means mentally you're not stable. And if you see your man doing that, it's okay for you to exit, because he'll keep on practicing. He'll beat you first of all, punch you day one, next time beat you with a stick, next time hit you with a shoe, the next time he'll shoot you and you'll be dead and you'll be history.
Mm-hmm.
And your children will not enjoy, or even he'll kill you with the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Now looking at the case in Kentucky, and then kill himself because he's a coward. He doesn't want to get punished.
Mm-hmm.
So once you see that, I'm not saying just divorce your husband. Sometimes get up and leave and just assume like he's not there. You're still married, remember, it's called a separation.
Mm-hmm.
If somebody is remorseful and you guys have gone to the village or gotten counseling and everything, and everybody has acknowledged what their mistakes are, because even you who's being beaten, it doesn't mean that you're 100% innocent. Maybe you're also chokoza in this man. So it means that you've agreed and you've come up to see kila mtu amefix makosa yake, and you can reunite and continue raising your family. But it is okay to walk away immediately.
Mm-hmm.
And let me tell you, and I'll give you now my personal example. Mine was not, the reason I walked away was not technically because of abuse, no. But the reasons I walked away were major, and I'm not going to disclose them here because I want you guys to buy my book one day.
Mm-hmm.
So, so the reason, before I walked away, I used to question myself every day. What will people think? What will the society think? What will my parents think? How will I live without him? You know, all those questions. What will my children think of me? I'm telling you, it's 100 questions that go through your head. But once I walked away, it came to be, it was for the best. And it was just not for my good only. Right now, my ex-husband and I, we have worked through whatever problems we had, and we are best friends. We're not together. We're best friends. And a lot of people suspect we are getting back together. Is there a possibility of a reconciliation? Maybe one day. Because now we have grown up, we have looked at the stupidity we used to do, and we've seen, oh my goodness, if we were to stay together 2 more years, probably I could have just depressed him and he kills me, or he could have done more and I do something bad to him. So it is okay as a woman, especially women. Our children are ours. They're not the man's children. Yes, they carry his name, but you are the one who defines those kids. You have to make the right decision by your children and do what is best for them. And that whatever you do that is positive will project around to the man and to your children, to your whole family. So women, be strong. Think about your mothers. Your mothers used to suffer silently. Yeah? They never, but they stood strong for you. So the women should stop this being weak, depending on a man. Work hard, raise your kids. Everything else will sort itself. But it is okay to leave immediately. Don't wait to live in a coffin.
Wow. Impact. All right. Ellen, I saw you smile a little bit. Thing that came to your mind, maybe you want to share?
I just wanted to disagree with my sister, Doro, the way that she presented women as weak. I think there has been a lot of empowerment of women that has surpassed the empowered man. And because of this over empowerment, we have created a crisis because you've not had men empowerment. You've only had women empowerment. Women empowerment. I think when she was talking about women being weak. She brought about masculinity, and something that you have seen that it's not only with men who abuse women. Women also abuse men.
Right.
And a
Yep.
lot of men actually are abused and are afraid
To say
of saying, coming out and saying, "Hey, ninachapwa." I think I don't know which politician alichapwa huko nyumbani. I think it's Wetangula.
Yeah, the current speaker, yes.
And Atuoli was making jokes of him.
Yeah.
So I think it's what I wanted to say. But the truth is, yes, women are presented to be weak, but that is not the true vitu kwa ground in tofauti.
Yeah.
I just wanted to make sure that I've mentioned that. But also, I also wanted to say that it takes two to tango. It takes two to tango. Even when a man becomes abusive, it means there are triggers from this, the abused. I believe that whereas I have a daughter and I would not want anyone to abuse my daughter, but it's important also to know that your actions towards any, your reaction towards any action will determine what the outcome will be. So that's something I wanted to put out there. However, in terms of abuse, Bwana Rama, you cannot give that which you don't have. We grew up and we were told that men must take control. This is in the Bible. This even in the great holy Bible, we have seen this. The King David. Even the the woman Abigail, who the Bible describes as a woman of beauty and brains, describes David as a foolish person. Yet it was the husband. He was a husband to Abigail. So he was arrogant and foolish. So these things did not start today. Even when you look at the way Aman treats Esther and so on, and Mordecai and all that, when you read those stories. But I just want to focus on something that also my sister mentioned that I just wanted to make a follow up. She's right. But on the other side, the law empowers women unnecessarily, gives them privileges that it deprives men. For example, the law says that the primary custodian of a child is a mother.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So you can imagine, as a father, you have very little rights. The woman has more rights
Yes.
to children. But on the flip side, there are women who are irresponsible. There are fathers who have proven to be more responsible, more caring than women. There are women who are under some abuse, some sort of either drug and substance abuse, who are either workaholic and so on. And men have stepped up to be good parents who deserve to be recognized as good parents. So, in terms of battering, I think it's not right to hurt anyone, but also it's important that the other person should also note or be cautious not to dare. You can't be daring me every day at nichape ndio utaona. Nitakuchapa. If you keep telling me that I will beat, if you beat me, I'll call 911. It gets to a point when you say, okay, call them now. By the time they get here, you are either no more or nothing like that. So our women or our wives too need to tone down. And that's why, like we say every other time, if you look at the history of Nigerian women, they have been killed, not because they are innocent, but because also their actions and reactions towards their husbands has been their triggers that amplify the pains of those men to cause that action. But overall, killing, beating, abusing is unacceptable. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Doro, I see your hand is up. So,
Yes.
all right.
I listened to what Mr. said. I don't agree with most of the things he's saying. But the thing is, men, this is how I want you men to go sleep thinking about yourselves. A woman was given to you because, as your helper, a woman was taken out of your rib. So that means no matter what you think she's the weaker sex, she was made out of you. Huh? You're dominant over her. So it's just like saying, think about a little baby. When I have a baby, or when you have a baby in the house, a baby wakes up at 3 o'clock screaming. You know, that's very irritating. That's very annoying when a child wakes up sleeping, crying, or they have pooped all over and it has leaked in the bed and all that. So what are you supposed to do as a man? This baby is trying you. What am I gonna do as a grown person here? Is to beat up that child? No. Man, if a woman pisses you off, let me tell you what worked in my house. I used to get on my husband's nerves too. What he would do, he would drive, and one day I followed him. I found out that he drove just to the gas station and parked there for a few minutes, then come back home. Do that. Walk away from a situation. Just go. Jipe shughuli. I've taught my kids the same thing. Jipe shughuli. Don't argue with a woman because you won't win. A woman is just that little annoying baby that's crying when they have booed on themselves. When you're sleeping and you're dreaming about winning $1 million, this baby starts crying. Yeah. Then this baby starts crying. So what is the best way to do? Is beat the baby up. So when men start.
Go ahead, Doro. Sorry.
So when men start beating women, that means you're reducing your mind. You're so small to a point of you will beat up a baby who is crying and annoying you. That's the same reasoning you're using right there. A woman, even in the Bible, is the weaker sex. So just every time a man, any man that's listening here, every time you raise your freaking hand to try to beat a woman, just know you have reduced yourself to a grown-up trying to beat a little infant who is crying in the middle of the night for milk because they don't know any other language to talk.
Yeah.
Just think of yourself like that. You've reduced yourself to that.
Well, interesting perspective. LM, before I came to you, I see one ambassador. He's enjoying sunlight at home. One Alfred, how are you?
Sana, asante.
Yes.
Naona sisi tuko ground.
Yes. Naona ground kweli sana. That's good.
Tumeingia kazi ya bottom up huko.
Okay.
Chairman, unanisikia?
Nakusikia.
Unanisikia?
Yeah.
Sorry. So
hiyo ulichukua Hustler Fund.
Hii ni ya Hustler Fund tumepewa already. Tumenunua ya kwanza. Hii ni product ya Hustler Fund. Limit though ilikuwa 500 but nimekuwa nikijenga.
Okay.
So I will join in as we continue, but I want to say that nilifika nyumbani salama, tuko poa, and I will join in and I'll contribute later.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you. All right, Bwana LM, I saw your hand up. So since
thank you very much. I just want to ask Doro that why would you cause someone to just drive and go back to who was supposed to sit in his couch and enjoy the privilege and comfort of his couch?
Let me answer you real quick. You never have any disagreement with your wife? You want to tell me your wife is never unreasonable? That's our job.
Oh yeah,
our
absolutely.
job is to be unreasonable.
And that's why we are saying, that's why we are saying you have to also understand, I'm not defending men who are abusive, but I'm trying to say that women are also overly, especially women who are in North America, who are feminist. They are unreasonably unfair and assertive to men, and men cannot handle it. Men have not been empowered to handle the microaggression from women. Women have been trained, have been empowered. There are a lot of programs, there are a lot of not-for-profit organizations, a lot of government programs that are geared towards preparing a woman to handle stress and situations. But a man has not been prepared as such. And when you come with all this knowledge and exert it to a man who is not prepared, it means you're giving him overly a difficult job for him to do. And another thing you mentioned, my sister Doro, you have never met women who can really, really push you to the corner. You know, women who belittle you as a man. And I just wanted to tell you that as the same strength, even though you were made from us, you are also described as the neck when we are the head. So our head cannot function without the neck, you know? So if there is a weak neck, it means the whole system, the head is weak. So I think we need also women to tone down and try to find out. You can also walk away. Why don't you walk away?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a two-way. If you feel that this man is overly becoming aggressive, walk away. Walk away. But there are men, there are women, even when you walk away, like you see, you drove and followed your husband to the gas station. Why were you
I
following?
was just curious. No. I was just curious because every time we would have a small argument, he would just leave and then come back in like 15 minutes. So one day I was just curious and I said, let me see where this guy goes. And I just found he goes to the gas station next to our house, actually very close to home. And I just turned around, I just laughed. And we laugh about it nowadays with him.
But
We talk about it.
But Doro, don't you find that is that as a microaggression? Because if we have a difference and you're following me, it's like you are
He didn't know.
stalking me.
No, listen. He didn't know I was following him, first of all. And if I followed him and then went there and caught him there and then get out, so this is where you came, then that's aggression.
No, you see,
I didn't do that.
You see,
so I'm not.
You see, there's something called maybe your husband had a side chick, and he wanted to go and have a break from all these noises from you, and then you follow, and then now you meet this side chick. Don't you think now you will amplify the problems and make it worse than you would have remained at home?
You're constant. You're moving from one topic to another. Side chick, that's a totally different other topic that needs to be addressed. But let me tell you, mwanamke, there's a point I wanted to drive across what you just said. Men, think about yourselves as baby beaters when you're beating a woman who has irritated you. Women, technically, God made us, we're supposed to speak 25,000 words a minute. I don't know how many you're supposed to, a day. I don't know how many words you're supposed to as a man. So women, we have a lot to say. Women, we're kind of, we are territorial. Huh? We are not you. Mm-hmm. So don't bring you to beat me. It won't work. At the end of the day, you're breaking your family with your own hands. What are you showing your sons? What are you showing your daughter? It's okay for a man to beat her? Don't do it.
Agree.
There's a point.
A solution, but also I'm also saying, please, women, wives should exercise restraint.
Oh yeah, my point. I remember now.
From poking men, asking them to beat you. You know, you tell me, what are you going to do?
Those are stupid women.
Yeah.
Let me tell you, and I'm very, very aware. Women are not taking their place correctly. There are some women whose agenda is just to disrespect. Why get married to someone's son if all you want to do is just go disrespect him and belittle him? Wachana na mtoto wa wenyewe aende kwa mama yake. Mm-hmm. Unakaka naye kwa nini? Ndio so that you can taunt him, akupige. So yes, I'm very, very aware. There are so many foolish women out there too. Foolish. And those are women who tear their homes with their own hands, because a man has to be respected. Actually, a man doesn't care whether you love him or not. A man cares whether you respect him. If you don't respect that man, consider him gone. He could be there physically, but he's being respected and pampered somewhere by a side chick daily. He just comes home as a shell to you. So yes, I know there are women who push men to that level, but again, men, you have to be smart enough. Don't allow yourself to get in a position where you screw up the rest of your life because of a shinzi type kind of a woman. Wanawake in this, I've watched women who have come from the village. Now let me attack my village again. People who have come from Kisii, wamama wametoka huko, wamekuja Amerika, hata wanashiraba, wajui hata kuongea vizuri. Mtu anakuja hapa ameshika kizungu ya hapa, ameacha kuongelesha watoto wake Kikisii. First of all, ameshika kizungu ya hapa, anasomea mwanaume, you hit me, you see, kiango, you know, just trying to get in. Yani wanafanya vitu in a very, very bad way. And they are mistreating a man. A man, if you're in such a position, when a woman gets to a point where they are not respecting you, anakuongelesha kama ovyo, hauna bahati, toka kabisa. Huyu mwanamke hata kuona kama mtu mzuri tena. Huyu mwanamke hata geuka kuheshimu. Once a woman loses respect to you, don't think there's any magic that can make that woman respect you. Atakudharau milele. Go marry yourself a second wife or get out of that marriage. For Pete's sake. But ukikaa hapo ati mwanamke anakudisrespect, ati sasa mwende kuongea ikuwe fixed. No. It's not like if a man cheats, tuende tuketi chini, iongelewe, mwanaume aseme, okay, sita cheat tena, mbele ya bibi yangu. You know, that's a different story. But if a woman disrespects you, it's very hard to reverse that. Just walk away as a man, take care of your children and your responsibilities, but walk away for sanity reasons. Yeah.
All right. Wow. Guys,
so those foolish women exist.
Yeah. And I think these things go both ways. Like Elem and Doro, you guys have pointed very clearly. Abuse is both ways. They're men. Unfortunately, most of the time is men who get highlighted for obvious reasons. But also, they are, like Doro, you've said, there are women who are mean. I mean, they derive joy from belittling and dressing down, or making their husband feel small. And then the question comes in: why are you married in the first place? If the person is not measuring to what your expectation, you have a choice to walk away. And I think that's what some of the things that fester this environment where somebody is pushed to the wall, because anybody can be pushed to the wall. Because I know of instances where one of my friends that I had known back in Kenya for a long time, and after so many years, I happened to talk to somebody else and say, hey, by the way, how is so-and-so doing? The guy was like, oh, you don't know? I'm like, what are you talking about? I said, oh, the guy died. What happened? He said, oh, the wife just came to the house and slashed his head off. And that was it. So these things happen either way.
Even when ARAMA, a lot of men have lost their private parts.
Yes.
They have been chopped off. So it's only that this don't.
What were they doing?
What were they doing?
Whatever they are doing, they don't deserve that. Let's agree on that. But in all seriousness, guys, these things actually do happen. But then my wonder always is, one, how do we make it safe for somebody to come and say, hey, Elem, Nikubaya, help me out. What can I do? Because if you look at men, the expectation is so high that, and you make a good case, and mentioned the current speaker then. He was a senator, and he became the joke of the town that, hey, anytime you stood up to speak somewhere, people told him, hey, you go and learn karate or go deal with your wife first before you come and talk in front of men. And nobody actually realized that this guy went through a trauma. you don't know. Maybe the wife was an expert in martial arts and the guy anajua ngumi za kienyeji, so he can't compete. He will be thrashed.
Not only that, women know a lot of secrets.
Yeah.
They know a lot of your secrets, and
Yeah.
they hold it, against you, and they use it as a bait to get everything. And when you resist, you get abused. So to me, the ARAMA people, this abuse does not just start. This abuse, it's something that is gradual. Think about, especially in the resistance of being abused, actually escalates the whole issue. Because think about it, when you were in Kenya, for example, you were married in Kenya, and it's okay. When you're married in Kenya, if you go and report these issues in the police station, people will ridicule you, the police will ridicule you. Unachapwa na mwanamke, Ama, those are domestic issues. You go and, those are family issues, go and resolve them there at home. Even the court, in fact, let me tell you, even the court is very, very keen when you look at family law, the way family law is crafted. Even though it kind of protects women, but family issues have to go through diversion, or court annexed mediation, whereby they have to make sure that they have exhausted means of trying to make this relationship work, or trying to work on irreconcilable differences before they rule on issues. They can't just go straight and rule. So they must take you through the court annexed mediation. So that's why we are saying that if you were married, for example, if Doro was married in Kenya, I don't know if she was married in Kenya and then they moved to the US. In fact, if she was, and a lot of women, I'm not saying Dora alone, but a lot of women who were married in Kenya.
I got married here.
Yeah, see, that's the difference. But if you were married in Kenya, and then now you move to America, for example, you move abroad, in Kenya, maybe the law doesn't favor women.
You guys okay?
Yeah, are you okay?
Favor women too much. But you see, when you move around, and now you realize that your wife now knows, I have my rights, and now they know if, just like kids, they know if they have a magic number to dial, 911, right? And when 911, you can imagine women have lied, they have called 911 to their husbands because they have a motive. The motive is to kick them out of their home, because now they have brought their mothers, they have brought their siblings, and now they're infiltrating that house, and maybe the relatives of their husband are no longer needed in that house. And now they look for a way to kick him out. Now you can imagine you worked your entire life and savings to invest in that house. And when 911 comes in, you're the first one to be told, look for accommodation.
Yep.
Now, and then you find after some time, you find now ARAMA is coming to that house as the new husband, and then you are in the streets.
Yeah.
Okay? Doran, I would like you to respond to that. And you are in the streets when there is someone who was not even there. All the hard work that you have put, even this wife was probably not there before. And now you have been asked to look for alternative accommodation. You are either in the shelters, trying to go to court, go through court. By the time you are going to go, the case is going to be ruled. You are struggling. Your career is in jeopardy. Now, in the name of not beating your wife, or in the name of you're falsely accused, how would you respond to that, ARAMA? Don't you think this man would be justified to react the way he would want to react? I mean, I would like to hear Doro's views if that would have been the situation.
All right, Doro, the challenge is yours. Looks like she's at work, so she may take time to respond. And I think, LM, one of the challenges that we always have is that because anything you do can be justified one way or another. But we have to be cognizant of the fact that sometimes it's good to take a step back and find out what is my end results, what am I looking for, and whatever I'm trying to get, is it worth? What are the repercussions? Are those repercussions worth? Because you may get that certification for 5 minutes, but then you lose your life, or you go to jail for the rest of your life, and then everything is over. Then to me, then either do I lose the house and walk away and hopefully go rebuild and start all over again, but I still retain myself and my dignity, and my respect, and I'm still free, or do I come burn now the house and then go to jail? People may choose differently. I don't presume to say I can choose one way or the other because I don't know. I've never been in that situation, so I really can't tell. But sometimes there are things you really have to take a second look. And you know very well that making decisions when you are emotionally hyped is never a good idea. Maybe, and that's why, to me, the aspect of finding someone you can, so to speak, like a soundboard. Hey, I'm going through tough time, LM, I need to talk to you. We talk, you listen. And sometimes just listen to someone vent. They vent, they cuss, they do whatever they want to do. And then at the end of the day, you say, okay, here is what I think we can do. Or, hey, come over, come over here, let's go get some food.
ARAMA,
Yes.
that is not working, man. You tell someone about the challenges you're going with your wife, that person starts taking your wife for coffee.
Oh yeah, that's the other challenge.
Or taking your husband for coffee. There are people who are out there admiring your marriage, admiring you, admiring your abilities. So you say like that. Now we have seen Alfred ametumia pesa ya Hustler Fund, amenunua kondoo 100. And then all of a sudden Alfred, his wife, starts to say that we have problems.
Yeah, she takes all those condos.
And there is someone who has been envying the position of a man who has the potential to invest, wisely, especially when it comes to Hustler Fund. So I think sometimes I found that issues of marriage, I think, if you ask my experience, I don't want to share my differences, I don't want to talk about about my wife.
Yes.
Right? Yeah. Or I don't want to talk about the weaknesses of my wife with another person. Because as a wife and as a husband and wife, these are issues of a certain period. Mnakosana, mnarudiana. And then ulienda ukaambia mtu kwamba unajua, I found my wife was cheating on me.
Yeah.
Forever, that you cannot undo it.
Undo that.
You become a laughing stock for these people. Mkipita mmeshikana mikono, anasema anashikana mikono hapa na huyo alikuwa na, so it kind of takes away your confidence. I find that it is good to walk away, like she was saying.
Yes.
It's good to try and resolve it between you two.
Yes.
And it's good to be mature enough to accept that I was on the wrong, and I apologize, because a lot of men don't apologize.
Yeah.
And even other women as well don't apologize. You know. So, or if you find your partner doesn't like apologizing, there is a way they become remorseful of what they have done. So find out and see, are they remorseful or not? So, but to discuss your issues, your personal issues, marriage differences, even pastors now are even pastors now are seriously, they are the most dangerous.
Yes.
I would rather, if I was to discuss these issues, I would rather to take a plane, even go to Jamaica and discuss these things way away.
Yeah.
And when we come back, it's like we never met those people, and they will never see us again. That is how I would rather do it.
Okay. Yeah. I was just reading a comment on the YouTube. Somebody made a comment. Insta says, a man needs to take charge of his family, behave like a man, and your woman will respect you. All right. I take your comment. But Alfred, I don't know. It looks like he's still on the road. So LM, let's shift our focus. We talked about our challenges here in the our diaspora and everything else, and some of these things actually do apply even back home. And of course, we do have other challenges that we face. But let's come back to our beloved country, Kenya. Before the show, we were having some engagement, and I wish Mbauni would come back so that we can continue that discussion.
Bauni ran away.
Yeah, Mbauni ran away. It looks
Especially this issue of women.
Yeah.
He didn't want to talk about it. I think he needs to come back and tell us.
He can come back and give his comment. A couple of things that I don't know what your views are, but I'm getting a little bit tired of people regurgitating, if I can say that word. They just concluded the election. My view is done and dusted. I think it's not time for us to keep on doing revision of the history and revising the history and trying to make it look one way or the other. I think anybody elected into office has a mandate, has a responsibility to work for the people who put him in office and deliver on their promises. And the only thing, to me, my opinion is, the only person I want to listen to is someone who is coming up to give us ideas and suggestions of ways we can make our elections better. So that at the end of the day, I want to get to a point where in Kenya, just like in the US and Canada and other countries, you go vote and you go home. You wait for the results come out, you have no question because you trust the system, you trust everything put in, and it's done. We run one of the most expensive elections in the world, but still nobody's ever satisfied. There is always issues. And then the issues are discussed until the next election. And then we pick up the next election and then continue again with the same discussion. And to me, sometimes as Kenyans, we end up losing because look at the instant right now. Kenya Kwanza Group came with their promises and what they can deliver to the people. And they are doing some of them. I have to give them credit on that. But then look at their major legislative agenda. Number one on the agenda is creating the office of official opposition leader. Make it official, constitution embedded and all that, with staff and requirements and everything else. You and me know Kenya has a lot of problems. The common person has a lot of issues. On the other hand, school fees are going to go up. The ministry has decided they want to do away with boarding schools. How do we do that? Is there an issue? What are the consequences? Because I don't know one way or the other. Boarding school may have changed by now. I can't tell. But there are so many things that are more prominent to Kenyans that needs to be addressed than us dealing with this. I understand it's a system and it's a process that needs to be taken care of. That is okay. But where do we strike the balance, LM? How do we hold? Because at the end of the day, I want to find out how can we hold our elected leaders accountable from what they are doing.
Maybe my sister Doru can mute, but let me tell you something.
Mm-hmm.
I want to agree with you.
Yeah.
The Azimio should accept and move on. Their noise is not objective.
Mm-hmm.
Their actions are not objective. They are just calculated. They are calculative in a manner that they are negotiating for their positions in the government to be included in the government. Now, look at when I totally agree that election was in August 2022. We are still in the election 3 months, almost 4 months.
Yeah.
In the election. There's no government that is going to do miracles within those few months.
No.
Now, the government is aligning itself, making appointment, people taking office, taking oath of office, realigning themselves, trying to see their budget or all that, trying to see where their predecessors, where they left, what was done, for them to conceptualize themselves with the environment. But because it is William Samoei Ruto and you don't like him, now you are trivializing everything. Everything. Every effort that he has made has been trivialized. You know, everything that every step that is announced, even any of his officials or cabinet secretaries, you can see that it's been trivialized. Let's look, for example, the minister, the cabinet minister for foreign affairs, Alfred Mtua, went to Middle East in Saudi Arabia. He negotiated and talked about issues that will improve the livelihood of Kenyans who are in Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
They talked about the possibility of having opening other areas where Kenyans can explore in terms of jobs. You know, we are not applauding him that he's doing a good job and negotiated other things that will help improve the welfare of Kenyans out there. Instead, we look at those trips as trips of going to borrow. You know, I think look at now the Diaspora Affair Committee, the ministry that was recently started. If you look at the Jamhuri, the just concluded Jamhuri, the High Commissioner to Kenya, Ambassador Immaculate, she said that she has been commissioned by the government to go and make diplomatic relationships with Canadian local governments. Said she has made commitments with other governments, provincial governments here, who are willing to work with Kenya, you know, at a certain level of agreement, diplomatic agreement. These are things that we don't see, we can't feel unless we are involved.
Yes.
Now, do we keep still criticizing the country? You want to get subsidy. For example, the Hustler Fund. The Hustler Fund, a lot of people have criticized it. Even ARAMA, when you were given a credit card, you were probably given with a limit of maybe $500.
Yeah, that's how it started. 500. Yep.
Yeah, they looked at how you're spending, how you're paying.
And they increased gradually.
Then they increased the limit. Now we've been given Hustler Fund. When I look at the interest rate, when you borrow from the bank or Mshwari and other, it's like 50%.
Yeah.
The interest rate for Hustler Fund is about 8%, right? Now, is the policy good and accurate and effective? No, because the 14 days of borrowing is very the 8% is per annum. Yet you're supposed to have paid in 2 weeks. So it's not very clear. There's also investment, the mandatory investment. When you borrow from Mshwari, if you borrowed, let's say 5,000, they will keep maybe, let's say, for example, a certain percentage. This percentage will be kept for you as part of investment, and the government will match up to a tune of 6,000 shillings, right? Now, if they are investing, then you keep asking how will we know where is this money is going? Why is the government forcing us to invest? The responsibility of government is to bring up responsible citizens who can be able to save. What the government is trying to do is to increase local borrowing, so that instead of us borrowing from outside, we can borrow from within. And money can circulate within. So to me, what I would say, we need to start calling for people, tell them no, do not pay Hustler Fund, it's your money, do not pay, you know, it belongs to you. And then you say we are going to the streets. That is sabotage. That's an equivalent of sabotage. You're trying to make this government unattainable so that you can justify your fears and your narrative that this person is not capable of good leadership. What I've heard, if they are able to roll out the projects, the housing project, it's going to create a lot of jobs, you know? And they're saying Uhuru initiated. Yes, if he did, now he's going to continue with it, which means it's going to create jobs. The whole idea is not the person who comes up with the idea. The person who implements the idea gets the credit. So that's why I would say, as a leader, for example, the right Honorable Prime Minister Raila Amolo Odinga, he needs now to tone down and start talking about unity of purpose. And unity of purpose is where we say, I know the way you got this leadership was not the right way. You probably stole, you probably took it away from me. But you know, now I put that behind me, and the country is greater than myself and yourself. And the people of this republic matter. Their unemployment, insecurity, jobs, agriculture, industrialization of our country. Those are some of the things that matter. I want to bring those connections, the network that I have, so that we can work together towards a common goal of improving the livelihood of our people. The people that I wanted to be the president for, and the people you are the president, are the same people, the ones who matter. That is, to me, that's what I want to hear right now from both leaders. Because look at the East African Legislative Assembly. When William Ruto's daughter was an ambassador, they made it a very big deal. But now, the daughter of the Prime Minister is in East African Legislative Assembly. The son of Kalonzo is in East African Legislative Assembly. And it's normal, he deserves it. Are you telling me William Ruto has not served in this country? He has equally served this country. So the question of, are you telling me that it's only Raila who has fought for this country? No. Kenneth Matiba fought for this country, and he died and never became the president of the Republic of Kenya. So when you fight, you don't have necessarily to be the president to be credited that you contributed immensely. So to me, the Prime Minister, we respect him. He gets a lot of privileges. He doesn't pay for security. He doesn't pay for gas. He doesn't pay for very many things, and he enjoys state privileges, which he's entitled because he has contributed in the reform, in bringing reforms in our country. Just like you said, ARAMA, if he feels there is a problem with IEBC, now is the time to bring legislation to improve IEBC.
Yes.
In 2017, he felt IEBC was compromised, so that he did not win because IEBC was compromised. He had 5 years to bring legislation to change so that IEBC could be transparent and accountable. But if you come about the most progressive election body is IEBC. In fact, the whole idea of portal, getting the results from the portal of IEBC anywhere, and anyone can access, resolved a lot of tribal wars or election chaos that we used to have. And we should applaud the chairman of IEBC for having done that. It is through him that he sent a lot of people, IEBC commissioners, to go across, to come to the diaspora, listen to the diaspora, give them the opportunity to vote. And now through that voting, the diaspora have been appointed. The cabinet secretary, I think, of diaspora affair is someone who was abroad. And as we are now getting the benefits, we were given, and I think even the diaspora affair ministry came as a result that IBC gave us the opportunity to vote, and we became very visible. I think that's what I want to say in regards to that.
All right, just a quick correction there. It's not a cabinet secretary, it's just a permanent secretary. It's a
permanent secretary, sorry, thank
yes,
you.
It's a department, yeah. But but well noted. And I think, to me, one of the things that, and I'm not saying this to bash anybody, but we have, I just wanted to make one statement. You said accept and move on. You actually don't even need to accept it, but we need to move to the next phase. We need to move our country forward. We need to look at the next event coming up. How do we make things better? How do we continue to improve our country to a level whereby anybody will say, you know what, this time the results announced, I don't have anything to complain about. I was beaten fair and square. That is my hope that we can get to that part. But also coming to the government side also, we do have legitimate criticism that we can actually level and say, hey, why are you doing this? For example, when they went for the, what was it called, CAP or 2727 or something, CAPO 27, the global summit, climate summit that they attended, with 300 and plus delegates from the country. Then the question is why? Those are questions that I should be able to ask, and those are questions that the parliament should actually ask. For example, the minister for the cabinet secretary for sports has spent his time in Qatar World Cup as if he's a player. He's not. He's, you know, we have our country that is having trouble with our soccer, football, and sports in general, but you're here spending money for no reason. So is anybody going to call him to parliament and ask him, why did you go there? What was the purpose? What did you gain? What did you get for the country? You know, if you spent 100,000 or 200,000 Kenya shillings or 1 million, we expect you to come back with 5. But if you all you did was spend and nothing is coming back, then we need to ask you questions. Why did you go? What was the purpose? What was the goal for you going? Because I know even Parliament was actually trying to vote for some of the members of Parliament to go to the same World Cup. I'm like, for what? I mean, I've never heard them saying they are going to watch Omanyala run and they want to go and that's where we participate. Why don't you go and watch that? Then it will make sense to me. Even the countries that actually have are represented in the World Cup, you didn't see them going with a whole delegation. Maybe now at the finals, you will see some of those high-end government officials attending those games now. But during the group stages, nobody went. Just the players and their officials, and that's it. So we do have legitimate places where we can challenge and criticize the government of the day. And this even actually includes even the county governments. But also at the same time, also I also want to throw this back to the government also, because at one point, Deputy President says, hey, Raila Odinga is doing his function very well as an opposition leader. He's making the noise that we want him to make. He's putting us in check. But then on the other hand, you come back and complain and say, hey, you are talking too much. You need to shut up. So which is which? So these are the issues to me that we actually need to address. Everybody has a space. We have a right to speak, and I respect everybody to give their opinion. But at the same time, can we make constructive criticism that can help the country? The government doesn't know everything 100%. They will make mistakes, but we need to point out those mistakes and say, hey, you need to stop this. This is not working. Stop it. Can we reevaluate this? Can we look into this better and get everything done? And at the end of the day, make the government become honest. If things are not working, just say it's not working. I'm sorry. I thought this would work. It's not working. Let's go back to the drawing board and come up with a different solution. But Alfred, I see you come back. Inaonekana umefika kwa ofisi sasa. Let me give you a chance to say something. Welcome. You're muted.
What was the second topic? Because I just overheard the first one, so I'll contribute on that one quickly. The issue
Yes.
on domestic violence and sometimes issues with families.
Yeah.
You know the problem around.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. No. You can prompt me in the second one,
Yes.
and I can just join it.
Okay, so we were just talking generally about, and I was telling LM that let's talk about our country, Kenya, and the government, and generally politicians. It's been on the news for the last couple of days, people revising and regurgitating the previous election. And to me, my opinion is it's time we stop that. Let's bring a discussion on how we can improve our electoral system. Let's bring a discussion on how we can make our governments efficient, the national government, the county governments. For example, how do we make the MCAs actually do their function in the county governments rather than holding the governor ransom because they want something out of the governor for them to do their job? So how do we get this done instead of just continuing? And I think even the mainstream media, if I can use that term loosely, is failing us as Kenyans, because you keep on bringing these people talking about the last election while we have so many problems in the country that needs to be addressed. That's our point of discussion. So let me give you a chance to respond to the first one, and then you can give a rejoinder on the next topic also.
Thank you. So, the problem with the first one is that quite often when domestic violence do happen, we do say that straight up, you think about it's a man who orchestrated it. Like,
Yes.
without even thinking, without doubling, makosa straight imeenda kwa mwanaume.
Yeah.
But I will tell you, Rama, there's a lot of men out here, and Misha will tell you that being a lawyer, he gets a lot of such. But quite often, we don't share that we are going through this. And to an extent that in Africa, an extent that someone is taking away his own life or even taking away the lives of innocent kids.
Yes.
Ameona akifika mwisho, and the problem is that one of the problems is when you share with your friend, now you become a laughing stock. People will laugh. Look at this. They start using you as a reference. Huyu aliwezwa na familia yake. Huyu alishindwa hata kuhandle. So that embarrassment inaweka mtu chini. And then when such things do happen, and is the woman now saying, amepiga kofi mtu, maybe hata in kwa open aired forum.
Yeah.
They say sasa huyu ndio bingwa. You see even on socials that she's been given that, she's on the upper end saying that, people are saying that she's a strong woman. Such men need to be disciplined and things like that.
Yes.
And now it gets to a point whereby people don't share these things. Secondly, is that we don't have professionals quite often in these areas that we come in, like in the counties. We might have professional psychologists, psychiatrists, and all these people in the city, but when it comes to reserve, ni ngumu kupata those services. And many people don't go for these such services again because you're going to share your own stories, and people are afraid, and secrets. I think the other part is we need to use this Catholic priest, sababu sisi wengine saa zingine tunaenda kuambiana makosa ile tumefanya mpaka unaweza sema ile kabisa ile ngumu, but because you have to do confession, so part of it is that they should be counselors as well, so that we kill it at the same time. You are doing the confessions, and at the same time you can also go there and share your thoughts there. Because if you're having thoughts of orchestrating things like not good things to your family, it's more better you have an intervention before then, or before it happening. But again, ARAMA is the kind of life we live in. It's not like before. Men are weak, as one of the participants earlier said that, and the women need to sometime watuvumilia na somehow reach out to our friends at times or our families, because at the end of the day, family is paramount. If they still have parents, seek intervention through the parents. As a woman, if you're seeing that your man is going low on this, or is starting to do other things, because hawa ndio wanatusaidia sisi, hawa ndio pillars kwetu. So at times usiwapatia pressure hawa wanaume saa zingine pia. Let us support them, hata kama unaona ni ngumu, but if it reaches a point that unaona imekuwa ngumu, you walk away. You walk away, you go. Unajua saa zingine when you walk away and then mwanaume anaona siku mbili anaingia jikoni, maana anasema pressure inarudi chini. If what they were planning was bad, anaona na huyu sasa akienda sasa one way ni kama itakuwa ngumu kidogo. So sometimes you better go away, and then once pressure imerudi chini, then you can seek intervention of the parents or of the church, or those squeezy church pia ni masimba huko. Mabeshte wakijua umekuwa na shida na familia, ndio wanaingilia hapo vizuri. So it's something complicated altogether. Secondly, on the issue of the government, I will tell you, nimekuwa home around here for 4 days. Maneno different. Maneno ni different. Those people who were before saying chama ni yetu sijui nini, hawa ndio nini yao inakuja. So what do we call the scorecard at the moment? If it was 90, sasa hii tuko 78.
Yeah.
Kila mtu analia bwana, hakuna pesa. Ukiingia hivi kwa duka, kama uko na 1,000, don't buy anything, go back.
Yeah.
You go back. But the problem, we are now politicking and putting everything. I'll tell you, that issue of Meru, it's not going to see, the Senate will come and sanitize. And I am a man of that. If something is not working at ARAMA, let us fix it once and for all.
Yes.
But now, the MCAs have done their part. But now when it comes to the Senate, they will come and sanitize this issue. And now the whole thing will now be dragging on the development of the counties. Because governor will be here coming to Nairobi all the time, coming to reach out to these senators that way, Musinitoy. Having wasted all this time, remember other counties are working on towards their agendas. Wale huko Meru, there's nothing happening because the governor hayuko kwa ofisi, pesa haiko, all these things is not happening because tunatafuta mtu wetu mwenye atakuja. And then sasa huyo afike, anza sasa kusema sijui changes nini, 2 years gone, nothing done. That is the problem. And I like what someone said. Saa zingine hata kama umeshindwa, it's much better move on na ujikaze. Don't uchungu, but sometimes see the picture of what comes after this. Because munaweza drag the whole thing for the 5 years, and then after that 5 years, mtu mwenye anaumia ni mwananchi.
Oh yes, always.
But too also, I want to tell the wananchi that this issue, kama ulikuwa UDA, ulikuwa ODM, ulikuwa whatever chama, independent, those are bygones. Leave it there. If the government is not working, scrutinize it or say it as is, tusonge mbele. If it is working, sema tusonge mbele. Because saa hii hatuko chama, saa hii tuko serikali, yote yenye iko ni yetu sisi kama raia. Whatever they are doing for every individual in Kenya who is a citizen or who is a resident. Sio ati ni line moja. Hata saa hii ukiomba hustler fund unapewa same. Kama ni 500 uko Migori, 500 hapa Nandi, 500 wapi, inafanana. Hawezi sema because wewe unakaa ulipiga wapi tutakupea 1000. Hakuna. It is same. So what we need to understand also is that the person mwenye anaenda kumia ni wewe. Sio ule jamaa huko. Ule jamaa anapanda gari yake ameenda. No one is going to come and complain on your own behalf. So let us also have a thought of, change of mind, change of gear, and focus on the development and leave all these side shows, because side shows are zingine tunaumia. People are suffering background, but they are suffering.
And I think to me, when we were starting the show before we started, when we were having our pre-show discussion, I pointed out something to people that a lot of people don't even see. The U.S. government, the president of the U.S., Biden, invited 46 head of states from Africa to come for a summit, with one exception. Raila Odinga was also invited to attend the same event. He's not a head of state, but he's elevated to almost the same level. Na sasa sisi nyumbani tumepigana, tumeambiana maneno, tumetukanana. But guys, look at these people. They are coming to the same meeting. They are attending the same meetings, while us, we are fighting for nothing. It's not even there. I think these are things that we need to put in perspective and understand that at the end of the day, the politician will make, because hiyo ni kazi yao. That's their job. Their job is to make noise and for them to look good than the other guy. That's their job. But for you, yes, you can support your own person. But remember, at the end of the day, the person next to you, your neighbor, is the most important person. Yes, support your politician. That's okay. It's your right. But don't make it to an extent kwamba you start fighting your own neighbor in the name of supporting a politician. This has to get to a point whereby we know once elections are done, whoever won, whatever way they won, they go to the court system, it's resolved. Once it's resolved, let's come back and hold these people accountable, all of us together. And like you pointed, Alfred, very correctly, Hustler Fund is being given to everybody, not just one area. And the amount is the same. There is no special requirement for anybody else. So that should be a pointer for us at the end of the day to make sure that, let's start with our own counties. Are they working for you? Or are they just there for people to make money? I just read the article you said about Meru, and I just read it. I saw she has been impeached. I think to me, it's almost a self-fulfillment, because when they started having issues, I said she'll be the first governor to be impeached. And sure enough, 3 months later, she has been impeached. So we have a lot of work and a lot of things to consider. But Doro, are you still with us? You got a chance to say something?
Yes, I'm still here.
Okay, go ahead.
What particular topic? I was gone for a minute.
No, we are actually talking in general about the political environment, where do we criticize the government? Where do we challenge our politicians not to focus on?
Oh, okay. Have we talked about the first daughter office?
Not yet. That's included in the government critique. So, yeah. Go ahead.
Mas the first daughter anachoma.
Yeah.
Anachomea baba yake sana.
Yeah.
If I wish I had access to that girl,
Yeah.
I would tell her to just chill and keep on doing what she's doing in silence.
Okay.
For the next couple months. Kenyans forget very quick.
Yeah.
And then she will shine out there. Hii mambo ya Smoky, right now Kenyans are hungry. The truth is probably the girl sold Smoky. And inaitwaje hiyo kitu ingine kachumbari. But Kenyans are hungry. So right now anything you tell them wanataka kupigana back, they just look at your dad's wealth.
Mm-hmm.
Who the heck are you to tell us this? You shop in Gikomba. Who told her that only special people shop in Gikomba? Anybody can shop in Gikomba.
Mm-hmm.
When I go to Kenya sometime, I live in the US and I go to Kenya and I'll run out of something and I could go to Mitush and buy it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm fine with it. So those little comments coming from her, from a point of a privilege, and keep on telling people who are dying hungry,
mm-hmm.
she just needs to stop. And then she got carried away the other day about the office of the daughter. We need to office of
the first daughter.
First daughter.
Mm-hmm.
Kenyans are the wrong people to tell these, man. Kenyans on Twitter have ripped her apart. Can't do that. Because now she's making, and who knows, maybe hata serikali ilikuwa ina mfund. But now they have to hold back because ya mdomo yake.
Mm-hmm.
Keep quiet, support your dad, do whatever. Just support your dad silently for 2 months. Kenyans are very good at forgetting. And I don't want to discourage her,
mm-hmm.
but I feel like her mouth is running too fast. And she needs to calm down. Another thing, I won't have addressed any politics here if I've not addressed my people, the Kisi's.
Mm-hmm.
The Kisi people were, man, sisi tumepewa kikombe.
Mm-hmm.
Every single week of 2022 tumekuwa in the limelight. And I think we are closing the year.
Mm-hmm.
I'm very, very disappointed by, I don't even want to call him by his title,
mm-hmm.
by the senator of Kisii County, Onyonka.
Mm-hmm.
He's acting like a little kid who is throwing a tantrum. When you don't get things the way you want them,
mm-hmm.
then you have to go and talk. Huyu akitaka ajipate peke yake aendelee kuchokoza Simba. Simba was picked by Kisii County people. Majority of them picked him, and they will defend him to the end. So Onyonka needs to grow up. And what I'm saying here is what I would say to him if I was to meet him. I would tell him this: he needs to grow up and quit fighting the governor. He's doing his best. This governor has never been governor before. It's his first time. Ongwae went there. He had never been governor before. He went there the first time. We thought maybe he would learn from the first time, and the second time he does better. But he did what he thought was his best.
Mm-hmm.
And let this man do what he thinks is his best. And for Onyonka to succeed, he needs to back off and honestly apologize to Simba and the county. What else is going on nationally? I tried to get the Hustler Fund.
Oh, okay. How did that go?
I was trying to see how much I qualify for.
Uh-huh.
I don't know. They told me 900. I didn't take it. Told me I qualify for 900 shillings.
Uh-huh.
You need to take it, Doro.
Wanyamaza. Sijakuwa broke bado sijasota. When I fuliza, I will take it. So I really don't know. I hope the president, I hope the government has some good intentions for the people. That's all I can say. I really hope so.
All right.
It doesn't look very good, but I really hope so.
All right, LM. Looks like this Hustler Fund is a topic worth exploring a little bit further. What's your take? Any information? Is it good, bad, in between? How can it actually be turned to an effective resource for the people, especially people who have an entrepreneurial spirit? Let me know, kana umefreeze kidogo. All right, we'll come back to him. Bwana Alfred, are you still with us?
Niko kabisa.
Okay. Sasa hebu tuambie what is the maoni ya ground na Hustler Fund?
One of what was watu wanasema ile 6,000 ya baba was better. Wanasema sasa hii 500 na bado utalipa na ile ilikuwa unapewa na ulipi. Number 2 is that wanasema haitoshi. Nasema sasa ukipewa na utaingizwa hiyo CRB itakuwa ngumu. And number 3 is that people actually are not really, watu wanauliza sasa was it a competition with ile ilikuwa inaitwa Mshwari ama sijui kulikuwa na ingine Safaricom Fuliza something, so it's nearly the same the same ni kama tu walikuwa naweka ka branch lakini there is no much difference. So I think people now are getting to learn that sometimes ni vizuri kusema ukweli and being a psycho fan all through. Number 3 is that the issue mafuta sahi, ukipewa mafuta hata 2 liters zile ya kutengeneza mboga, you are rich. Wewe ni sonko sasa, wewe ndio kusema vile. So it's life is hard, man. I'll tell you, if you have friends here, they'll tell you life here is expensive than uko penye uko. Because like I said earlier, ukitoka na 1,000 ukishatoa hivi hakuna change. Yaani ukitoa hivi hakuna change. Imeenda yote. So what we are actually is that we're not complaining to the government or anything, but we are actually requesting that let every department do what they are mandated to do, because once the major departments are working, then inafikia wananchi. If the counties are working, inafikia wananchi, so that we won't be able to be, lamenting and complaining all through the 5 years. The only thing is you've been given a position. The only thing you have to do is deliver. You're given money, you're given position. The only thing to do is make sure that what you are meant to do, what you are mandated to do, is to be delivered. And this comes in handy when you won a second part of the cake, which is the second phase of the term. So that is it. That's the only thing we can say here. Raya. We don't want to complain, but we want to see good things happening to us.
All right, thank you.
Na nimeona watu ya Kakamega wako sahi na flights inaenda, kuku zitaanza kufika Nairobi mbio masaa on time, haraka. So
sasa watapeleka kuku Nairobi ama hao ndio wanakula kuku?
No, si watapeleka Nairobi wauze huko na bei nzuri, alafu walete vitu goods zingine tofauti ikuja huku inakuwa haraka.
Okay.
And it works well actually. Arama, I was in Nairobi this morning and got the first flight by like we were talking, and when I was just alighting, in 40 minutes I was home. Right, already home to the airport. I'm lucky that I live just 3 kilometers from the airport. We still give thanks to Moi. Moi did as well. To date, we are still having the legacy of Moi, that we have an hospital here. We have the airport. I used for the first time this morning the expressway, the legacy of Uhuru Kenyatta. And I was telling the driver who was dropping me to the airport, because from Westlands to the airport ilikuwa 11 minutes nilipima. Plus hiyo, because nilifika huko jamaa akasema karibu, so we didn't stop on that thing ya kushuka uingie ndani. So it was actually 11 minutes from Westlands Mushiam Hill hapo to the Terminal D. And I was like, this is a legacy. As much as tulikuwa tunapiga Uhuru, this is a true legacy, because imagine if last evening I missed a flight to Eldoret, unfortunately because of traffic, just to get to the expressway, you know. And I was saying, these 10 years, what are we expecting? And I believe that we will get another expressway to Nairobi, to Eldoret, hopefully. Because in serikali ya kazi, we believe in. So hiyo expressway itaextendiwa mpaka Eldoret. Tunaomba.
Okay. Asante sana Bwana Alfred. All right, LM, well, welcome back. Okay. Inaonekana leo LM internet imemkulia mbaya kidogo. Ebu Alfred, fulizia LM internet irudi. Inaonekana you have better internet kuliko yake. All right, Doro, let me come back to you then while we're waiting for Mr. to come back. Final thoughts for the day.
Final thoughts for the day. I think I kind of finished up my points, but Kenya. Oh, yeah. There's something I wanted us to talk about last week, and we ended up not having the show. There's something that the president said, and it was printed up in the papers, saying that diasporans are going to contribute trillions. I've forgotten I can't quote him exactly how many trillions in 2023. That kind of bothered me. It was a Facebook post that posted a newspaper. And I think I even commented there. You know me, when something bothers me, if I don't give my thoughts right away, I'll forget. So I commented there exactly how my heart felt, and it wasn't the best, but it's true. You can't change that. How can you be counting and even talking about diaspora funds when it comes to governance? You're not thinking about diasporans. That bothers me a lot.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's one question I really want to present to him. One day I'll sit in front of him and ask him really big questions about the diaspora. How can you count on our remittance, yet when it comes to governance, we are on the back, we're not even in the back of your hand. To me, that's hypocritical. And hiyo ni kutuguza mali pabaya. And maybe I've always been saying I want to start a campaign where we can actually just pick 1 month where no diasporan sends money home. Just 1 month. Sendwave isifanye kazi, tap isifanye kazi, kila kitu. Mwezi moja peke yake. Ndio tuone hiyo economy, how they'll survive. Ndio watu heshimu. That's all.
All right. LM, welcome back.
I think my devices were acting up.
Oh, Ole.
Yeah, so, but I just wanted to say something about the current government. I just wanted to say that for us to see any change, any significant change for this government, it's gonna take about 5 years. So to wapatie time. Another thing I wanted to say is the invitation of Raila Amolo Odinga by the president of the president of the United States is something that we cannot authoritatively say that William Ruto was not invited.
No, he's invited. Both of them are. Yeah.
Yes. So maybe if William had other in his priority of things, if he had some things that he felt that he needed to attend, more than just going for that meeting, let it not, because I saw a lot of people from Azimio who are basically trying to argue that United States is trying to compromise the prime minister, or they might kill him. Why are they calling him? Why are they inviting him? Why are they not inviting William Ruto?
He was
and so
invited.
on.
I mean, I wish they knew the information, because I know for sure. And like I said, I knew that almost a month ago, or even more than that, the president was invited. So,
you see such
when people have information, that's what happens. Yeah, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. You see, such propaganda brings toxicity to our country.
Yes.
Okay? So that is why we are saying this kind of toxicity needs to end, right? We need to start having a country where we can speak and recognize that William Samoei Ruto, there is no election that is going to happen in the next 4 years, in the next 3 years. It's just going to be the president. Zoe hiyo sauti kama nani alisema Atuoli. If you can see Francis Atuoli quickly alijua na akarudi, siku hizi alisema rais wa Jamhuri ya Kenya ni William Samoei Ruto. Even us, we need to start getting used to that, because that way it will help us to heal and move on. Now, there's this issue of
we know that's a fact.
So then accept and move on. Why are you making noise of toxicity, calling maandamano and all that? Oh, he has not done that. He can't do what you're asking or what you expect him to do within the short time. So just give him time, and he will be able to deliver. If he won't be, his scorecard tutaanza kuiangalia on the 4th year and see whether he has done anything, if there is any significant change in our economy and so on. That is all I'm asking. And also in terms of this daughter of William Samoei Ruto, I think she's doing an amazing job. She's supporting the father from doing a good job. You know, we know that Winnie Odinga exists. You know, how does she exist? She became focal in questioning things. She is more focal than the brother, even the late brothers. And so the same thing I see in Charlene. What she is doing is good. The foundation is giving money. And if it's giving money, is it what she says that matters, or it is what she's giving and the impact that it's creating that matters? She is not mature. She has not been in the political terrains to know how she can filter what to say and what not to say. So she's in the learning process. Let us allow her innocence of learning and speaking her mind. I totally do not agree that because of what people are going to say in social media, it should be the reason why she should shush and not speak. I think I like her tenacity. I like her vigor and working and making sure that she's delivered. Let me tell you, if you don't see Kalonzo Musyoka, Raila Amolo Odinga, William Samoei Ruto, they are grooming their children to take over after them. So we are in a competition of leaders who are actually grooming their families to take after their footsteps. So I think let them come and let pesa, kuleni pesa. If she's starting projects, let us enjoy the benefit. It's one way. And that's why napenda William Ruto. Nampenda because yeye akipata akiiba kidogo kwa sababu hawa watu wote ni wezi, at least analeta anashare na watu hapa chini. You know, hiyo ni pesa yetu. So wakileta, wakejeli wasilete waweke huko. So that's what I wanted to contribute there.
Wow, that's very interesting. I see my good friend Bernard. How are you? You're muted. You're still muted. Yeah,
I'm fine, sir.
Yes.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It's good to see you.
Good to see you guys too, man. It's long time.
Yes.
People went to Kenya.
Yeah, people traveled. End of year projects and all that thing has been on our neck. So it's about 2 weeks about it. Yeah.
Completing resolutions.
Yes.
Before. Oh, nice. I hope you are not like our government. You have to finish your resolution first before you create new ones, man.
That's a good one. Yep. Yeah.
Otherwise, I've been following the show while I was going to work, and it was a nice conversation, and people are talking about Charlene a lot. Charlene is a wonderful lady, man. It's very nice. It's very nice for her to do what she's doing, and she has revealed to us something we have never known. You know, this is the problem with Kenyans sometimes. You know, because all of a sudden, people are juxtaposing the photo of the former first daughter and the current one, saying, "Oh, the former first daughter was doing it silently."
Yeah.
What is that? This is the first family. This is a public family, you know. And if there's any project being done from these families, it's good to be brought in the light, even if it's not funded by the exchequer's money.
Yes.
You know, so Charlene is just doing what should have been done from the beginning. Put it in the light. This is the project that the kids of the presidents get involved in when it comes to public, because they are doing it. Okay, if they do their own private business, then okay, it's cool. Keep it like private, you know. But if you're coming to public, funding poor kids' school fees, donating food to the slums and all this, let us see that happening, because you're coming to the public. It's no longer a secret, but why do you hide it? You know? And that's what I appreciate about Charlene. Even if the only mistake he's doing is trying to fight back people on social media. That's what she should not do. She should just continue with her work and do it to the best of her ability, and continue showing us what she's doing. And we are appreciating. But once she starts fighting, trying to fight back when people criticize her on social media, she will lose it. She should ask our former president what he did, you know. And that's a big boy. But he had to fold up and disappear from the public. But he did a good job. You can hear people like Alfred appreciating getting home in few hours, you know.
Yes.
But we can't remember that because of what the former president tried to compete with the public.
Yes.
On matters, I heard you guys talking about domestic violence. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's still a big challenge, because I think we as Kenyans, or Africans, or wherever, or human beings, we are still struggling with roles. What are the roles of sexes? I guess I can say that, like, what's the roles of a wife? What's the roles of the husband? And their husbands are naturally feeling dominant, and once they start feeling like they have been suppressed a lot, there's no room to escape. There's no room to air their issues, their problems. They end up doing crazy stuff because there's no agency, or there's no place to go and talk out, or their pride makes them not want to go and seek for help. Yeah, but otherwise we need to open more avenues and make it normal. And make it normal we have to open more avenues and make it normal for men to go and seek help, psychological, psychiatric help on these matters. They have to understand it's normal to be in these loggerheads with your partner all the time, sometimes, you know?
Yes.
Yeah. So we have to help, we have to allow that to happen. We have to allow that to thrive, that kind of lifestyle where someone accepts it can happen. Yeah. So otherwise, I don't know if we are going to have another show before Christmas. I can say Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Yeah.
Yeah, we should have. I think we can have one more next week. Yes, absolutely.
Oh, nice. Let's share the Christmas gifts here.
Okay. All right,
okay.
Guys. All right. Thank you so much, Mwangi. Thank you, Doro. Thank you, Mise. Thank you, Alfred. It's been a wonderful discussion. We need to continue. I just wanted to read one comment someone posted on Facebook and said we should encourage our children to go all out. Shadin is admirable. That's Jane Mumbi. Thank you so much for your sentiments. Thank you so much for your comments. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate you, my guys at the studios. Thank you so much. I was hoping to see Keja and Kip at the studio today, but looks like they're already in the Christmas spirit. They're in Kenya, actually. So
yeah, we need to find out if they were ducking this very delicate discussion,
story, yes.
just like Imbauni disappeared. But
yes.
Rama, before we finish,
yes,
the bottom up. The president was talking about is what the daughter is doing. You know, in all honesty, bottom up in very many ways. That's why you see in developed countries, they give money, the government gives money to not-for-profit organization to try and influence. Have you ever asked why would someone like a program coordinator or a project manager in a not-for-profit organization earn so much money?
Yes.
Unlike a civil servant.
Yeah.
Have you ever asked yourself? And they have the same job description, and they are funded by the same government, and etc. etc. So, for me, we need to encourage these children of politicians. All of them. Let them start the foundations. And what Charlene is doing is leading by example. Let them start this foundation. We want to see Wino Odinga Foundation. We want to see the Kalonzo Musyoka, all these politicians, foundations. And when these foundations go across the country, we will be the beneficiaries at the end of the day. Because there are people, when, for example, Charlene, she was an ambassador of Kenya to one of, I think, was it, I don't remember the country, but which means she made some connections. She has what is called social capital. Yeah, so she worked with other ambassadors who have programs that run, that can raise money, who have connections with people who can be willing to support because they know you know someone and someone knows somebody. And when you start something, they're willing to put their money into something, into someone because they know somebody. So we want to see that. And also, Kenyans are known. Our Kenya, they are known. They are known not because you have done anything good. They will criticize you. Hata kama umeamuka na mgumbaya, they will criticize you. Kenyans are all over social media. They are all over politics of United States. They are all over any politics, anything. They are there. And there are people who are keyboard warriors. If you pay attention to them, you will end up going to be admitted. But lastly, I wanted to say something here. Look, there are a lot of there's reason a lot of single parents, single parenthood.
Yes.
It's not bad to be a single parent, but at the same time, accept that in the absence of one parent, it takes, so now you bring up as a mother, you bring up, and maybe Doro will tell us that this because she talks about her boys. And we want maybe from Doro to know if the husband is involved in their upbringing. But I want you to imagine a situation where there is no husband, there is no male figure in a house. Then you bring up these children, only knowing the one side of parenthood. Now, how will they behave like men when you as a mother, as a single parent, you have to work hard, make sure that you have raised money to pay for their bills and so on, meaning 3/4 of your time you will be at work. Parenting will be, the amount allocated to parenting itakuwa kidogo. So the absence of a man in families now, or the absence of a mother in families, has affected the kind of the current generations. That is why they cannot hold relationships. That's why sometimes it becomes too much for them to hold, and they result being abusive because they did not know how to do it better. I'm not saying that single parent cannot bring up responsible, but the majority of the people who are brought up, they have a vacuum of something that they have missed from one parent, because parenting is from two parents. So if there is the absence of one, then most likely they will only know from one source, and the others, the absence of the other source will affect the others.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys, for your comments. Thank you for your feedback. Yes, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. I wanted to, before I forget, I think it's last week or some few weeks ago, I saw from the office of Mudavadi, he was, and this I want to ask Doro why this information missed her and she didn't bring it to us as our CS.
Yes.
Or PS.
Yes.
The office of Mudavadi,
yes,
funded a homecoming event for diasporans in Kenya. And I just found out because one of my friends posted, he was in that meeting, he was part of the people organizing, and he posted on his Instagram. And I was like, how can this happen when nobody's aware that someone is organizing an event for diaspora, and they are going to discuss things to do with diaspora and people, and we are not aware. And then the last one I just wanted
that money came from Mudavadi?
No, it was funded. The meeting was being organized in Mudavadi's office. Even that guy posted a photo of him together with other guys holding this meeting with Mudavadi. Okay. So I was so curious what is going on. And then is it possible to get people like these people who have been elected to East African Parliament and try to make them do meetings with diasporan people around the world, just visit, do some meetings around the US, Europe, and we discuss on how to open up East Africa and for diasporan people to invest in any country in East Africa, not only in their respective countries.
Yeah.
So that they can take this to parliament and push. Because there's nothing they represent us in those parliament, and East Africa is a diaspora parliament. It's not a local parliament.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. We'll follow up on that and see if we can get some of them to come attend our show, and we can ask those questions. So, guys, we need to wrap up, and so that we can hand over to the next event that is coming up. Thank you so much for being here today. Thank you for your contribution, and guys, the studio, once again, thank you so much. Thank you, Bwana Gerald, for this opportunity. We'll continue to engage. See you next week, guys. For those who may not be able to come, Merry Christmas here, and I wish you much blessings this time. The Taco Diaspora show ends now. See you next week. Thank you.